Good morning. It's Christopher, and just got something on my heart this morning that I wanted to share with everybody. Hope it blesses everyone that watches this. This past Saturday, I was with some friends of mine from a ministry, and we went to a park in downtown to share Jesus with people. So we go to this park, and almost immediately I meet this guy who's walking a German Shepherd. And of course, the dog was my if you will, just because I'm an animal lover. And so started talking to him, and I told him that I was, there was some friends and that we were from a Bible college, and we were just hanging out, and we got to talking a little bit, and one of the guys asked him eventually, what is his thought of God? I mean, what does he think about God? And his response was an absentee father, and that was his view of God. And I was like, man, I can relate to that. I used to feel that way, when I was young, especially, right after I'd gotten saved in the 6th grade, and I'd been baptized and everything, and then due to the circumstances of my life, I just really didn't have any discipling or any Christian environment after I moved away from that particular environment, and I eventually became very bitter, very angry with God. I felt like He was presented to me as my dad that would never leave or forsake me, yet I was feeling pretty alone and pretty forsaken. And my real father was never much of a part of my life, except for the weekends where I had to go over there, and even then he didn't have a whole lot to do with me. So I'd really grabbed or latched on to God the Father in that, and I did. I just felt like John, like he had just left, and I felt this real strong bond with this guy, and as we talked more, realized that he just wasn't in a place of being really open, and I get that. I understand. I hope that we showed him some love and planted some good seed, and didn't make him feel bad in any way. In fact, I felt led. I gave him my number and my email address, and just said, hey man, when you're ready, if ever, you have questions or you just want to talk about any of this kind of stuff, just let me know. We can, get together for coffee or something. And he seemed cool. And as we went about the day, I saw him in the park later with the dog, hanging out and just chilling out under a tree at one point. And so I think it was a good thing. I think we parted ways in a very positive way. And while we asked some questions and gave him some things to think about, we didn't push him. But what I wanted to share about that experience is that John's really been on my heart still, and I've just been thinking about him. And my encouragement for those of you that are not following Jesus, that you've been burned by the church, or you've maybe been burned by people that were close to you that said they were Christians and maybe didn't act like what you think a Christian should act like. For those of you that are struggling with wanting to have any kind of relationship with Jesus, I just want to encourage you, because I've been there, and something that was very freeing for me in this is that, ever since I was a kid, I knew God is real. I experienced Him that year in the 6th grade. So even when I was mad at Him, it was hard to deny Him. It was hard to say that He doesn't exist. It was just a matter of thinking He wasn't a very good person or a very good God. And what I eventually realized is that my conception of who He is was molded by people. Was me looking at people that I thought represented Him, and rightfully so to an extent. I mean, they claim to be those people. They claim to be Christian. But I'd look to people to see what God looks like. And the one thing I've learned about people is that they're imperfect. Another thing is that they will let you down. And so if you're struggling with that at all, I just want to encourage you to look to Him. To look to Him. If you really look to Him, if you really get to know Him, you'll see the truth. And you won't have to look to people. We're all imperfect. And we're all prone to misrepresenting the one that we claim to follow. And some of us have done horrendous jobs of representing Him, of reflecting His love. And it's sad. But it's not His fault. And anything that you've gone through, any tragedy, anything ugly from your past and in your life, not only does He know about it, but wherever you were and whatever happened, and I don't know your story, but I know mine. I know what I've done, and I know what's been done to me. And I know that every step of the way He was with me and walked through it with me, and He can relate. He gets it. And if you were to come to me today and unload your junk and everything, I might not get it. I would hope that's not the case. I would hope that I would be right there with you as you shared your story. But because I'm human, because I'm imperfect, I could miss it. I could miss the mark. Any given moment, I could drop the ball, if you will. But He never does. And so I just want to encourage you in that sense to really give Him a shot. Forget about what the TV preacher did or said or got caught doing. He's not God. God is God. Jesus is God. And that's the thing most important. We're all dirty and stinky and incredibly flawed in our natural existence. But when Jesus looks at us, He's looking for what's inside. He's not looking on the outside at all. And we need to see with those same spiritual eyes that Jesus has. So I hope this encourages you. I hope it just gives you something to think about, whether you're following Jesus or not. This was just something that went down this weekend that I thought was pretty relevant. And my prayer is that either I hear from John and I get to go have that cup of coffee and we get to dig in and get some questions answered and figure some things out. And if not, though, if I never hear from him again, I know that some good seed was planted, and it's my prayer that somebody else will come along and water that seed. Somebody else will come along and fertilize it, and somebody else will eventually come along and help him to come to the realization that Jesus is the way, is the truth, is the life. And I look forward to seeing him and some of you in heaven someday. So have a great day. I hope this blessed you. And sorry it went so long, but hopefully you got something good out of it. Take care.